Stream should be coming up soon as Vertzi now looks to continue to apply pressure. Losing your shield operator, and Ram becomes a little bit harder to find areas in the map. Pressure mounting as the time continues to tick down, but again, losing so many players is a lot worse than you could imagine. A minute left on the clock and a C4 for your troubles. If you let that hit the mark, it'll fly into cargo, but no bueno. Gino is now able to walk in however much he wants to. Now Kiwi forced to deal with all these roamers, so it's not taking a single point of damage, and Gino's already walked in. The question is, does Scorpion know this? Has a Valkyrie camera within the area, but it's already been shot out. Now Gino is a genie, there we go. I was thinking of the console tournament they said once he was playing in the roller tournaments. He knows things that he shouldn't. Kiwi goes down, but Gino putting in pain to make sure his team can stay in it. Looks to find the third, but narrowly misses the mark. Mako gets the first and the second. Leaving a 1v2 situation with 20 seconds left, and Gino no longer has frags. Could pick one up if he wants, but directly puts him in the line of sight for Nick, and it's so easy. Fallacy. This team is not scared to talk into the all chat because they know how important a mental really is in a game like this. The more doubt you establish, the more of a baseline for your team that you continue to establish. If you can walk away with 3, 4, maybe even 5 rounds unanswered for, you walk away with the entire game. And when you're battling for top 10 and maybe even the top of the board, that is the most important thing to do, especially on a map like Lair. Should be back up now. Unfortunately, my Wi-Fi decided to call it a day, just quit on me, but fear no more, we're back up. As most of that round shouldn't have been missed out on. Looks like Nick is looking to get a little aggressive with a Swamp Peak. Could pay off dividends if he can find the first. Players are repelling up. He's looking at the wrong angle. Oh, the ACOG just blocked so much of his HUD that Gino's able to exploit it oh so easily and gets rid of all of that passive utility that he has to offer for his team. Not what you want to see, but it'll get the job done. Now with the tertiary bomb site, the main idea is to have a Solus play verticality and make sure that nobody, no matter what, can plan. But right now, losing Nick this early on means upstairs just compromise the amount of pressure that you can apply. It needs to be with a pinch of salt, because if you lose another body, you're looking at a 5v3 situation, and that's no bueno. The minute burned off the clock. There's still so much left to do. Nug's been on the shield so far, has not been able to find Joy, has been easily isolated both rounds, but Gino is here to finally make a statement and potentially get his team on the board. Bray looking for any potential utility being used upstairs. I don't know if the IO scanner being utilized can be detected by the Thatcher and EMP'd off eventually. It could be quite interesting to see that be utilized, as it looks like they're finally trying to get something within the site. The plant looks to go down. Solus looking to use her ability, but unaware that it's still going down regardless of that IO scanner coming into play. The Ying will go down. Post-plant situation, 6-man count evened out for the both sides. Nugs, before he has to interact with the Warden, Bray is there on the backstab and gets rid of him. Fallacy needs to use his C4 to rid of the shield operator and is fried before he can. Leaving just one operator, completely isolated. The APL tech doesn't save Nugs' life as it's too easy. But the double cross by Nugs & Co. finally closes that deficit down to just 1 round. One they desperately needed to prevent any form of snowball effect on presenting itself. Good job of being able to do so. Hopefully, they're able to continue. Otherwise, it might be a little bit of a one-sided affair if this was just a one-off round. NKG now really showing us what it means to continue. Oh my god. I apologize for the fruity language being used by the teams. But this is why we watch competitive Siege. It's hilarious to watch. I mean, I warned them about the language the first round, but why would they want to listen to the caster if it allows a lot funnier bloopers? They continue to be neck and neck. Sometimes life just continues to present us with these absolute gems of player interactions. Some players are nice, some players are not. Exactly what makes this funnier. After the rotation parameter resets, they'll be allowed to play upstairs yet again. Now that being said, there's still a lot left to be done within this game, especially with the amount of pressure that Nocturnes can build up. When they lose Nick first, it's a lot easier for Nugs & Co., especially on a tertiary site, to be able to establish that much fourth pressure. But now that you have a full man advantage and it's all evened out with the round to begin with, it might be a little bit harder to grab a round like that. Now Gino has been the prolific player for his team that has ensured that this game doesn't get out of hand. 5 kills to 2 deaths. Mira being registered as the final ban does not allow the players to sit in the depth of the site with the comfort of the black mirror facing into the site, into the hallway. Meaning these players are going to have to get their hands dirty a lot more to be able to maintain the integrity of the site, and Nugs can freely be able to walk in through areas of display if he's on that shield up. C4 goes loose and just barely misses a player as Glass is fully walked up now. Looking to find Joy. Smoke fully utilized, but unfortunately for you, you're going to have to deal with the Warden. Dodo effect does come through, but Nugs taking active damage to the Toxic Babe, and to make matters worse, he'll get hit by the SMG-12 and the TCSG from within sight. The DMR. How did that be? I heard a DMR. I was just wondering. Just below 90 seconds left on the clock, and there's still so much left to do, but now that the Nocturnes have built up the man advantage and they still have the control of the staircase, they really have nothing to do but sit back, relax, and force these mistakes. Now, a player that's been kind of flying under the radar is Yojin. Has also been able to find so many different areas of pressure. Fallacy and Nick get rid of Gino and Vertzy. Buck still playing the Vert. Can it be a fallen effort? Yes, as he'll get one, but is instantly refragged out, leaving just Kiwi Fanta on main stairs with absolutely no health to work with. He knows somebody resides close in bathroom. Take a shell. Even at 10 meters, you'll go down. But Fallacy is the one to get the job done on the overhang, and they'll reestablish that 2-round lead. NKG here to play. Not here to share any points, as Nugs & Co. need to reestablish what they want to do. As if they grab one more round for this entire defensive split that they go up against, it's quite common to be on 4-2 later. But if they are going to be either tied up, that could be very well for how they'll switch out on the defense. But if they go down 5-1, which is the absolute bane of their existence, then they are going to have an absolute horrible time dealing with a team like Nocturnes. They'll head down to Filtration to hold it down. I assume with the smoke. I like to call it Kino, again. For those of you who know, you know. There's no Azami, so it's not fully Kino, but you'll still have a smoke, most likely, instead of on that position as they try to hold down Lab. Main idea here should be to force as much pressure on these attackers if they go for a vert play, which on layer is just kind of unavoidable at this point. You have to be able to kind of force the mistakes round in and round out, otherwise it'll be a little bit more annoying to deal with as these rounds go on. Now first blood almost drawn as Yojin goes for a very aggressive play. Nothing to put a player down, but will take a good amount of damage though. Almost finding one player. If you can find more, you might be able to establish a lot of pressure. Now still, things kind of quiet as both teams address how they want to play. Gino taking things quite soft and easy as they look to find access into the building, but you cannot enter aggressively against this team because you know how easy it is for them to establish choke points in various points of the map. Nugs opening up first pick now off that shield operator. And with the idea to play a lot more aggressive could be the backstab that Nocturnes have to worry about. Seems like the Wamai is very aware of the positioning of this one player. But still, the time continues to run down against these players and they need a kill in response, but Nugs looks to be completely undetected right now while everybody else is focused on the verticality. They may not even need the backstab, but Wamai now seems to be aware that there is somebody here. Now Fallacy not getting carried away and fully exposed as Nugs as he hears the player swing out wide, taking full advantage of the fact. And that's backstab gone, meaning they're going to have to go for a direct take onto the site. One will drop in, a little bit of a whiff, but he'll get the job done. There's another player approaching. The Vulcan canister burns out the last player. Gino gets rid of Fallacy in the meantime. A 1v2. Nick has the idea to almost do something impossible, but these players, they seek refuge in the other side of site. He assumes it's somewhere else, and by then he realizes the plant's going down. It's a moment of, can you drop? Who's watching it? What can you do? Thermite establishing points of pressure, but quick 180 to get rid of him. Vertzi gets the job done, and finally, we're seeing these players start to wake up as Nugs & Co. close down that difference to just one. An aspect that not a lot of teams really do account for is how much mental does really affect this game and how teams kind of operate. Whether you're being friendly, yeah, it's respectful, but if you're really hungry for it, you can continue to get very aggressive in the all chat, and as you can tell, these guys have been going at it since the pre-game. Could actually win them a couple of gunfights. Somebody gets in their own head, or it couldn't. We'll see. those of you just tuning in, this is the third round of the Swiss stage of Blitz Lifeline. It will just be a weekend event with the main broadcast happening tomorrow. I think there will be 3 BO1s and then 2 BO3s. If I'm not mistaken, it should play out like that, where we will have casters on the main official Blitz channel. Should be an absolute great time. Should be a blast. Now, Nugs and Co. attacking the same exact site as Nocturnes. I don't think have the tertiary site unlocked again, so they'll have to kind of innovate to try to win this one out, because if they do, 4-2 is exactly what you're looking for. Now, Nugs on the same roll of the backstab, almost finds that kill, but player peels off of missile at the same time. It's a DMR via DMR. So, anything can really happen. Now, the first payload goes out, and Warden decides to eat it, meaning he cannot be called for the remainder of the round. Takes a bit of damage, but investment could pay off in the long run. Fallacy taking the second call. Gino opening it out in the meantime, getting rid of Eugen. A problem now that the player that you've been kind of relying on for first frags is now fallen and hasn't been able to find joy in now 2 rounds. Nick, though, is here to save the day as the Solos continues to go wild on their own, but Bray is there to cut off Fallacy on the verticality. Could be a little bit of an issue now that these players have so much established, and Fanta's fully in storage. Now just waltzes into the site, and not a single player is aware that this ban is just lurking inside of sight. The second hatch drop successfully that they've been able to find. Now Mako forced to fall back down through Kino. The other player has to play verticality, will deny the plant. Beautifully played up by Nick, and could isolate that second gunfight if he can find it. The question is, does Ram know? Seems like Bray does. Resetting the phone, middle of a gunfight. He'll take full advantage of that, but you fully can't get rid of him. Goes big, tries to find the shotgun. By a miracle, by the skin of his teeth, he's able to get the plant down. 2-on-2. The pseudo 1v1 is completely gone now that the player is planted and gone out of dodge. Mako still waiting for this player to get carried away on peeking stock. Somebody's going to have to do something, though, and it seems to be Nick. He's the one that's forced to flank, but there's not a lot of time to work with. Mako, you have to do something to be able to work with the time that you have on the board. Time continues to run down and soon to expire. Well, the Solos needs to isolate, but it's too easy for Nugs. C4 finally goes wide, but too late. As the Flores evacuates out of stock and continues to plant his feet. And Nugs rids of Mako as well. They'll tie it up 3-all. And now, Nocturnes need to go back to the drawing board because a 3-all is not what you want to be seeing, especially on a map like Lair. Three-all is the scoreline as now Nocturnes switch on to their attacking campaign. Still lots left to be done, lots of siege left to be played, but overtime would affect these guys a lot worse than just one game ending out in regulation. Are still going back and forth. I'm just so entertained how they continue to go back and forth, but we'll go on to our 6th room as first sight. No bandit, no cage, so it'll be a little bit harder to keep these walls closed. I mean, given you have Tabaro still on the board, but that's more of a temporary solution, so it's a better idea to break even by bringing somebody like the Mira, so when the walls are eventually open, not a matter of if, it's a matter of when, you can have specific gateways on how to hold the site. Now Vertzi able to establish the long angle by playing out in display. The second Mirror can either go in the middle of masked wall or in storage facing out into the hallway. Get a double angle also established. So lots of things you can do, lots of time you can do it in. And for Nugs and Co, and all the time they get to continue to apply this pressure on their teams as the rounds continue to go on back and forth. All quiet on the western front. I'm confused as to what the idea here is. I know there are auras brought to block off the main hallway and then act as a focal point into the site, but oh my. Not how they really accorded the plan, as Kiwi Fanta just drops the C4 onto the Blitz's head. Meaning funneling into the hallway becomes a lot harder than you would have anticipated. And Wamai setting discs as well into the hallway means if any Selma is thrown within the vicinity of it, it'll be a little bit harder to use if it's snatched up. Ace only has 3 to work with, meaning it's a lot harder to give them away. Otherwise, kind of giving away your utility economy. Finally finds those discs, doing his due diligence to drone it out and has a general idea on where the pressure is being established. So Selma should be good to go, but the Caster's Curse hits break even. And Bray wants it to be known as now 2 C4s have rid of 2 critical operators, one being their aura, and now losing your Blitz as well. Taking main hallway in an isolated fashion is just no longer possible. You need to be able to isolate your gunfights. Otherwise, it becomes a little bit harder to deal with. Now Bray rids of Scorpion, and it looks like Nugs and Co to a little bit of a slow start, but they're starting to finally heat up as pressure starting to be applied onto Nocturnes, and they haven't been able to find a response now. C4 looking to be thrown. They're 3 for 3! They're playing basketball, man! Gino drops the 3rd C4 for his team that is successfully connected with a body and finishes it off with the SMG-11 onto the front doorstep of 3 individual players. My God. Nugs and Co takes the lead now. Haven't been able to say that since the beginning of this game. And they look to continue to apply pressure in and throughout each and every round. Now Nocturnes need to do damage control as they're starting to lose their grip on this match. Didn't take too much time to be able to win this out, and already one match has been given up as Akron have already won their game via FF, putting Akron at the top of the board, only dropping, if I'm not mistaken, 4 rounds in 3 games. Absolutely wild to think about. Not even 3 rounds. They dropped 3 rounds the entire time, as they won against Walkdown Esports 7-3 and 7-0 to Clifford Avenue. And a forfeit is an automatic 7-0. Meaning Akron is here runners up right now as they're continuing to apply pressure. Now Nugs, rids of Nick. Nice and easy. Bray spending more time in the all jet than moving and using WASD to actually move as a player, but seems to be working right now. As you can tell, there's been a dramatic shift in pacing and momentum. As now the Nocturnes continue to apply pressure, but it can't be found. C4 goes wide and shot out. Looking to shoot out the Blitz's toes. Doesn't really work out for you, but Azami's there. Kiwi Fanta is there to instantly find the refrag, and Vertzi doubles down. applying so much pressure onto only shooting range, where the remaining 2 players look to find entry. They'll take shooting, but the case is loose and they only have 2 minutes to establish verticality, get the hatch open if it isn't already, and get into sight to try to play vert. A tall order and a large task for 2 players who haven't relatively been able to find joy since the beginning of this game. As just 3-way crosses being established. Another C4, but Vertsy rids of Mako before it'll even mean anything. Leaving 90 seconds for 1 player to take on 4 individuals, all hungry to get on to the next round. Nugs & Co. now activated, plowing through their opposition, and are now 1 round shy of the match point to take the map home. Nocturnes, now in panic mode. Still lots left to do, and they have time to do it in, but they need to be able to continue to keep their heads up through each and every round as the pressure starts to amount. As Nugs & Co. are getting closer and closer to being able to call this map theirs. Not what you want to hear, but anything's possible at this point in time. Let's see how they'll be able to address this. Nice. My headset saw the all chat and decided to sacrifice itself by just falling off my head. But it's okay. You know what? The mic still works. Don't know about the headset itself, but it is what it is. Nugs looking to get aggressive yet again. Was a player who was on the shield operators in the earlier stages of this game, but doesn't really seem to care about that now, as it could pay off if these players don't know a Scorpion is approaching with care. But if it isn't too careful, will lose his life. The gunfight there, but Nugs still interacting, meaning it's anyone's game, but Scorpion decides to slow things down, because the risk of losing your Grim so early on could be disastrous, especially with the can openness on a tertiary site. Things will slow down as Fallacy will now find access into ops. Oh no, the C4 could be disastrous, but there's the coverage. But the C4 still gets him? Guys, come on! You were playing this so well in the beginning. Talking down on Nugs has earned you him C4ing your team many a time, back to back. As you've now lost your focal point to your attack. Now, again, the Spearhead now dull, as there's still so much left to do, minus your Blitz. Now Nugs to take a second gunfight. Even falling here, wastes 90 seconds and gets a kill for his troubles. Leaving Nocturnes in a place of trouble, especially without full explicit verticality control. As a solo still stands and they have Toxic Babes to continue to run this clock down against you. Not what you want to hear, especially on a map like this where verticality is oh so important. Getting closer to a minute. The Soliton radar stays out to act as a fast clearing method to use the global intel to get rid of the players, but still, it's taking too much time. They're still below a minute and all 3 Toxic Babes are intact. That means something. A shotgun in the close range could just be an easy kill. Is for 2. Can he find the 3rd? As he's shooting bodies, he'll get it! He doesn't know! And Bray's just dancing! Not what you expect to see! Bray, in the middle of his taunt, gets caught off guard and still delivers the buckshot to all 3 players to eat him. Nugs, now 6-3, match point And Nocturnes haven't claimed a single round on their attacking campaign yet. Arguably the funniest round I've been able to watch. But wow. Seems like Nugs and Co. were overly confident when they started. It'll come back to bite them. Now they continue to apply pressure throughout each and every part of the game. Of the essence for the attackers, as crumbling at the seams has not looked good for them. They continue to pressure. I just saw the replay. I just can't get over the fact that they continued to debag as he executed more. That's absolutely hilarious. Bray being one of the most vocal players and backs up his talk. He currently sits at 9-4. Only player on his team to break double digits is Gino. He's been going off since the beginning, but now so much more to that. These guys continue to apply pressure in every round. Now the go button hits. It looks like they're going for a fast plant. Where are the C4s? It looks like the Toxic Babes deny the plant at the last second. It doesn't get activated. More Toxic Babe. Breaker shanks a player in the face. 90 seconds left, and it's all hell breaking loose. But at the end of the day, it's Nugs and Co. to walk out with the advantage. But Nugs, take it out. But he's already done his job on those Toxic Babes. The plant cannot absolutely go down in this situation. Any player who waltzes onto site gets absolutely taken care of in the ending stages of the round. It's Kiwi to get rid of Eugen now, just leaving Scorpion by his lonesome. Where are you? Waiting outside to get the job done, but Nugs already hitting the confident GGs. And for a reason. There's now a minute left. Scorpion still has to do something to get the job done here. Not even close, as that marks the end of this game. Nocturnes not being able to grab a round post-split. We get closer and closer with these absolute insane timelines for these games, but that unfortunately marks the end of this broadcast. We've been live for 4.5 hours. It gets to a point, guys, but we've covered 4 rounds. There's still 2 left to go. We're at the midpoint now. There will be more games to watch. Continue by watching players like Nugs, Bray. There's so many player POVs left to be seen. The official broadcast will be tomorrow. Have a great rest of your night. Thank you guys for spending your night here with me. Make sure to leave a follow and subscribe if you did enjoy. Have a great rest of your night, guys, and I'll see you guys tomorrow on the official broadcast. No? No, it said no. Okay.